Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here back for a little Anime Monday, reacting to this anime on Monday. And today we're still on Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood edition, dub edition, episode 30. I think we might be in for a good old flashback this time around. How are you doing? Let's flash over to Eric.
I'm good. I'm ready to see who. I guess it's going to be a Mustang flashback since he started the last episode jumping in the car and declaring that Operation Valkyrie was still on no matter what the Fuhrer said. So
He's still got the plan of action, which we don't know all the steps that he might be taking in this plan, but his long game, even before I learned obviously about all this homunculus stuff, was to overtake the Fuhrer and, come for his job. And now he's got, last episode was called Struggle of the Fool, which that's, I guess, Mustang, the show tells us. And he's been separated by his team, but he did get Armstrong
and Hawkeye
on his. Yeah, he was. The three of them were talking. So Hawkeye is like working for the Fuhrer now, but they were still in the same city at least at this point, Central, where the rest of his men were scattered all around the map. Armstrong had some thing about. Maybe he'll be in this episode too. It's a flashback because we already saw a little bit of flash from him from the War of Ishvalan.
Yeah,
he basically kind of quit. I guess they didn't kick him out of the military for that, but he would refuse to fight anymore in Ishvalan, citing that it was wrong. But now this time he's saying, I can't walk away. I need to fight back against the wrongdoers.
Yeah.
So interesting. Covert team to some degree, even though the Fuhrer basically knows, maybe he doesn't know about Armstrong, but he knows pretty much everyone that might be against him. He talked to them directly last time, Ed, Al, and Mustang, and said, laid it on the table pretty much, refused to let them quit the military. And he's got hostages all around because basically anyone who he knows is special or meaningful to one of his I would say enemies, I guess, but just one of his pieces that he needs or that the father needs, as long as he knows who they are, he can pretty much threaten their lives. So it's a good hostage.
Right. It's basically just Hawkeye and Winry, right? And then Mustang.
For the boys and Mustang, yeah. Those are the main two, certainly. The blondes. He's got the blonde hostages stashed. Now, what else? So, I mean, it seems like this flashback, assuming it is that, is going to be brought about by Scar and the Dr. Marco. He came across Dr. Marco.
That's right, at the very end. Okay.
Yeah. Marco, was saying for Scar to kill him, basically saying, I'm responsible, but we'll see what happens here. I think I asked you last time, do you think Scar will kill him? And I think you said no, because he's gonna he's on the redemption train coming up.
Yeah. He was already accidentally fighting alongside them in the last kerfuffle. So
them meaning Ed and Al, he went in with Mei Chang and to get her panda back, and then they realized they were in the big boss's lair. Got split up. May's with. Also, there's a fun scene where Al brought her back in his armor to the other doctor who already had Lan Fan, convalescing at his house. He's really running a home for wayward/injured girls here at this point. And then the two were about to fight, or did start fighting each other because they're from the rival clans.
That's right. And Lan Fan seems determined to get an automail arm from Winry.
Yes, and that would make sense just story-wise, with everything we know. If you lose a limb, we got an automail mechanic on deck. Yeah, so that's pretty much what went down last time. I don't know, I don't know if this whole one will be all flashback. If it is, what do you think? Well, assuming it is at least somewhat flashback, what revelations do you think are going to be shown? And then if it's not all flashback, what else do you think might go down this episode?
I think it's prepared to tell us what actually happened to finalize the war in Ishvalan.
We know it started because of Envy impersonated a soldier and killed a kid, basically.
Yeah.
Ishvalan kid. But yeah, we didn't really see much of what happened after that until Scar woke up and killed Winter's parents. But yeah, and then yeah. So what do you think Mustang? Be more specific, I guess. If this is going to be a Mustang episode, what do you think he's going to do for the future here? What's his next move?
Well, I mean, I don't know. What is his next move? Little spycraft, little statecraft, going on. Okay, well, if the bad guys own the capital, then you've got to make allies outside of the capital. So that's what I expect.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And he's only been in Central for a little bit now. He was stationed elsewhere in the land, if I recall, so he could have allies back there. So let's see what happens then. I think let's go ahead and review the Ishvalan War of Extermination. Let's do it.
Can't wait.
Oh, you've decided to become a soldier after all.
Flashback here, young Mustang.
But sir, it's the only thing left. I mean, haven't I already mastered the fundamentals of alchemy?
I regret even teaching you that much, now that I know who you plan on using it for.
The military there.
Alchemy should be used for the people. Master, our country is constantly under threat. The military needs alchemists. It's a matter of defending our homes.
I'm tired of hearing that vile rhetoric.
I can't stand to see you like this. If you would simply join the military, you could get grants for your research. You could.
I don't need a grant for something I've already completed.
You finished your research?
Most powerful alchemy. It would only cause tragedy if I placed it in the wrong hand. I've allowed myself to grow complacent. We alchemists are hungry creatures. We must continue the hunt for knowledge as long as we live. Then we allow ourselves to die. Trust me, I've been dead for a long time.
Master!
Looks like you're about to be literally dead.
Master Hawkeye!
Look after my daughter. My research. Look after her.
All right.
Okay.
So Master Hawkeye.
You've done so much. I don't think I can ever thank you enough.
You can call me in the military if you need to. You also don't approve of me becoming a soldier. Your father told me soldiers are left to die like trash.
Attack on Titan.
That may be.
That's right.
I know it's the only way to make a difference. Man, that must have sounded pretty childish, huh?
Not at all. There's nothing childish about caring. That you're serious about this. That you really do care. Can I trust you, Roy? With my father's research? No, Hayate. Sorry about that.
So I heard you're working for the Fuhrer.
Looks like things got pretty serious.
Oh, right, at the end of last
didn't
episode, he
have
pulled
to.
the gun out.
I couldn't pull the trigger. It's pathetic.
On
huh?
whom again?
I was just useless.
Well, on Father, I guess he could have tried. I doubt that would have worked, but
Right.
he was in several fights since.
I found out he murdered Winry's parents.
Oh, I guess he could have shot Scar also.
And all of a sudden that gun seemed like something evil. Next thing I knew, I honestly think she would have shot him if I hadn't been there. And it's my fault. I've got no resolve. I only managed to make things worse.
You're just dwelling on this stuff because you made it back alive. Stay focused on living. That's how you'll help Winry. I mean, after all, you love her, don't you?
Like that? We've just been friends since we were little
Yeah,
kids.
somebody tell that to Winry.
I mean, of course, I'm gonna protect her, you know?
Protesting a little too much.
This only added to your burdens.
I've got to ask, does it ever feel like a burden to you?
I've lost the right to look at it that way. But I've killed too many to feel sorry for myself. That I'm the one who chose this path.
Super metal.
Ishval? Can I ask you about that?
This was Ed gonna hear about it, not Scar. Or both.
It's time to confess.
Ishval is a harsh and barren country,
Phil Crane.
filled with rocks and sand.
What a great touch.
Would protest the country's annexation by Amestris. Fine.
There's envy, of course.
Their mistrust turned to outrage, and dissidence spread like a contagion.
I think that looks like Scar's brother in the middle there. Crowd shot.
We know he was like a leader, right?
And the fighting lasted 7 long
Yeah,
years.
well, he was a researcher. He thought he wasn't like good enough to lead as like Scar would be. He was trying to tell Scar
Executive
to
Order 3066.
be like the physical.
The official
you know.
order to initiate the Ishvalan War of Extermination.
Did she call it Order 66? Isn't that a Star Wars thing? Because isn't that
Is that a Star Wars? Star Wars, is that what you said?
Yeah, isn't that the meme from, like, Revenge
The air
of the
was
Sith?
tainted with the smell of human decay.
In the comments, tell Drew what I'm
Punch.
trying to say here.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the newer Star Wars. All right, there's Hawkeye.
A normal soldier might fire erratically without a clear target
Sniping.
in mind.
A sniper named Hawkeye. Now I've seen everything.
Where other soldiers don't always have a direct line of sight on the effects
That's right.
of
It's
their
not her.
actions.
It's not her nickname. Her father was named it also.
And of course, the state alchemists.
I think this guy was killed by Scar already.
here.
We saw
I am the
in an earlier
Iron Blood
episode.
Alchemist.
Yeah. Oh, in the first episode of the series. maybe.
Iron and blood. I am both soldier and weapon. I am the only man able to take the lead in this battle.
It's Roy.
They took my leg. Those savage Ishvalan dogs.
Hey, Roy! Roy Mustang! Well, it's good to see you. Although, you've changed since the last time I saw you.
You have the eyes of a killer.
Yeah. It's not exactly the future we imagined when we were at the academy.
What? What's wrong?
I've still got a beautiful future! And her name is Gracia!
Never change. He is. Well, you never did.
All alone. Oh, how long before some jerk puts the moves on her? Gracia would never do that to me, but she is all alone.
Hey, Hughes, I got a little advice for the soldiers who never shut up about their girls back home. They don't make it.
Not funny, Roy. All right, then. I can make it through this day. I can think about tomorrow again.
I can't picture any way out of this war. The desert seems to just suck it up like water. All that's left is sand.
Excessive to suppress an uprising.
Do you think the word
Major
extermination
Mustang,
implies
long time
that
no
you're-
see. Do you still remember me?
I don't know if that was the official title of the war at
She
this
has
point.
the eyes of a killer, too.
Like World War I was called the Great War initially,
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Now, when we saw her back a second ago, part
and
of
we're
the
still
tattoo
seeing
had
it
been
there. Yeah.
scarred out.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you can answer this, Major.
Well, so that you know what the
Why
tattoo
are we
is.
being
right?
ordered to kill citizens
No.
when we should be the ones
Okay,
protecting
talk
them?
about it.
Because that's the job we state alchemists have been given to do.
Oh boy, here's the Joker.
Oh, right.
Because
This
this
guy's
is a
the
war,
dang
and
Joker.
That's what soldiers
Is he still
do.
alive?
Oh, he's alive. He's in jail currently, but remember he has
Cause
his hands
tragedy.
separated,
Well, that's how it seems.
like Hannibal Lecter style, but on his wrist instead of his mouth.
You're not very happy to be here, are you? But can you honestly tell me, in that split second when you take down an enemy, you don't allow yourself to feel the slightest tinge of satisfaction?
That's enough, Kimberly.
I'll tell you what
Seems
I don't
really-
get. Did you people
Kimberly.
expect something different?
Different. Okay.
Choose this. Thinking you wouldn't be asked to kill? The one thing worse than death is to avert your eyes from it. And don't ever forget them, because I promise that they won't forget you. Oh, too bad there's the bell.
Hughes, can you tell me why you fight?
Why do you pilot the Ava?
It's simple. I don't want to die. The reasons are always simple.
If that's it for this war. The reason. There is one. But it's worse than you can imagine. My people to create a Philosopher's Stone? Stone. It was given to Major Zolf J. Kimberly. He was known as the Crimson Alchemist. Did he have black hair and cold eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Small world.
Brother. Keep talking. That single stone turned the battle around.
Beautiful sound. It doesn't get any better than that. Part of me I never noticed before. That sound is an extension of my...
I couldn't dream of a more fulfilling job.
such a beautiful sound!
My man said symphony.
Yeah, maybe he's doing a pun.
The Ishvalans were slaughtered.
So a Joker would do puns like that, probably.
Ishvalan
He
surrendered.
would.
The High Priest of Ishvala, Log Lo, offered himself
Log
to the
Lo.
Fuhrer on behalf of...
That's correct. I stand.
How arrogant of you. Do you sincerely believe that your single life is equivalent to the remaining multitude of your followers? The life of any individual human is only worth one life. That's all. Call off the extermination.
How can you be so inhuman?
All right, so it is called Extermination.
God, you say? Now this is intriguing. Plans to wait before unleashing his fury. Thousands of lives must I take before he decides to strike me down. God is nothing more than a construct created by man to inspire fear and promote order. For all these atrocities, use your own hands to do so, not God's.
And that's it. The war soon ended.
Now we know. We really are as expendable as garbage to them.
What little strength I have, I'll do whatever it takes. It seems like the least we tiny humans can do for each other. So, you've decided to take this path after all.
If the world truly operates based on the principles of equivalent exchange, then we soldiers have plenty to give back.
From now on, I'm assigning you to be my assistant. I feel like I can trust you to watch my back. You'll be able to shoot me in the back as well. If I ever deviate from this path, then I want you to shoot me. Do you accept my offer?
Of course I do, sir.
Right, but that's because you're in love with him.
Would she really shoot him? You
But even
She would never shoot him. He's the love of her life.
The first thing we'll have to do is restore power to the Parliament. We'll take it back from the military. Only after the full extent of the military's corruption has been brought to light can this country move forward. Just as heroes during the Ishvalan campaign will be brought to trial as war. A just peaceful world, after all that we've done, will be...
Isn't that just like committing suicide?
Even if they were the ones responsible for it, we were the soldiers who carried it out. Never forget the people you've killed. Trust me. They will never forget the ones who killed them.
It's not right.
You don't have time to start worrying about us. You need to look after your brother, Ed, and you need to get your bodies back. You got plenty of people waiting for that day.
Sorry for the intrusion.
Excuse me, I just wanted to thank you for your help. You saved both of our lives.
You remember Edward Elric, don't you? The little alchemist you screamed at?
Little.
It's kind of a long story, but I lost my body.
You probably look just like him then.
How rude! For starters, I am way taller than my brother is. And I'm a much better fighter, too. I'm a gentleman.
All right. New crush unlocked.
Did you get your body back soon?
Oh.
Let's see if we got an end cred.
We do.
Hope you're decent, Doc. Time for your supper.
Back to Envy.
Huh. It sure is quiet in here.
Well, they've done a couple of these scenes where Envy comes in to try to see Marco.
Oh, he did it. Great. You know how important vengeance is to me as a literary device.
Drewz Viewz.
All right. So that was Marco there. Head exploded, it looked like. So it was mainly a flashback episode. They had a little dual narration, I guess, from Marco to Scar and from Riza Hawkeye to Ed. Basically knew most of the stuff that we kind of saw in terms of like how the war went down. We got a little more specifics. I guess, I mean, the Fuhrer was being pretty blunt about everything.
Yeah.
Without saying, like, I'm not human myself, but, you know, like, humans are... It is, like, a thing, on one hand, well, the God's not there to help you because there is no such thing as God, whatever, and, like, this is Fallons believe in this, obviously, this religion. You can draw parallels to the real world, certainly, but at the same time, that doesn't justify this genocide, of course, and this, obviously, this totalitarianism. But I guess Father... pulling the ultimate strings here is trying to be God on Earth, it would seem. It seemed like Dr. Marco didn't realize exactly what he was doing. Like, he didn't exactly know what was going to happen, I guess. I don't. Obviously, has all
It seems
the
like
guilt
he
now.
knew.
He must have known like what the plan was, but it seemed like when he actually saw the faces of all the people getting tortured essentially and killed to make that stone, the look on his face was like, oh damn, this ain't it. This is much further than I thought, or this is not what I don't know.
Right.
Like how does he justify that? He just didn't realize there was going to be actually people suffering. I don't know. It doesn't really track completely. Maybe he was just, or maybe he figured it out and then realized.
Yeah, maybe he figured out how that worked, and then they were like, "Sick, we're gonna do it," and he was like, "Wait, no," right? Yeah. Because that would draw like a literary enough contrast with what Hawkeye's father did with his research.
Right. So, so going back to Bear told Hawkeye, yes, he was Mustang's master, then taught him alchemy. He didn't seem to want to teach him what he learned, though, but obviously Mustang learned anyway from Riza.
Yeah.
So that's what I was asking about the tattoos.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
So that is the research. Like her father.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. That I gathered. I just, am I supposed to know what exactly the research was about?
The flame alchemy. So, like, his ability to do the crazy flames, like, that's the research.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he's the only one who knows how to do it, basically.
And she's, like, scarred out the...
Yeah, I didn't remember what that's about. It did seem like she had a scar there. I don't remember if this explained, but it might be that might have been done purposely to stop anyone else from getting the full research. Yeah.
Like, I can trust and then no one else.
Yeah, so I guess that's probably what it is. Yeah, so that's what it is. Like, he was saying, Berthold was saying, I started this research, I completed it, I don't want anyone to have it because it's too powerful a weapon. He's clearly against the military, probably for the correct reasons. Unfortunately for him, his protege and daughter both got heavily involved with it after he died. But yeah, he was saying the whole thing about, like, an alchemist dies once they can stop researching. Presumably he stopped doing research because once he created that, he was like, it's too much. So yeah, another tortured alchemist there, mentally tortured. So anyway, Mustang obviously did get the power. Yeah. And then in the actual war, we learned a little bit more about this Kimberly Joker guy. He was actually given the stone, Philosopher's Stone, presumably because he was the most savage in using it.
Right.
He basically seems like a complete psycho, but he does have his, like, whatever, his reasoning of, like, you should do this, like, killing whatever is
right. The classic, like, logically consistent villain.
Yeah, but he obviously enjoys it too much, and he obviously got himself thrown in jail at a certain point after the war, presumably for doing more psycho shit that wasn't officially sanctioned by the military like this one was. Maybe we'll learn more about that in the future.
Unsanctioned war crimes.
Because he obviously wouldn't have got... I don't think it would be for war crimes in Ishvalan, because what Hawkeye was saying, she considers everything they did to be war crimes, and she and Mustang want everyone, including themselves, I guess, to be put up for that. I don't exactly know how that jibes with Mustang's goal to be Fuhrer, if he's going to accuse himself of war crimes, but we'll see. All in all, it seems like the right move, I guess, morally. So what else do we learn this time? I guess that's about it. Yeah, it was mostly a Mustang reason, story. What do you think is going to happen now going forward from anything we saw in this?
Operation Valkyrie is on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't learn more about what Mustang might do right now in the present. His present version wasn't in this episode, but...
And I think they're going to have to team up with Scar. And the deal is that Scar gets to kill Mustang when it's over. If I had to guess.
Why would anyone agree to that, though?
Well, Mustang wants to die.
That also doesn't jive with him wanting to be Fuhrer then either, though.
No, because I think he wants to ascend to the rank of Fuhrer and then dissolve the military and then face his trial.
Okay, that could make sense.
Tells me.
I could see that for sure, but I don't see how Scar would fit into that plan. That's all I'm wondering about. I don't think Scar's going to wait around for all this, on his end at least, to get to kill. So I think they might need to, something more immediate, I think would need to be reached in terms of a team up here, like something more immediately mutually beneficial. What that is? I mean, possibly Mei Chang can get involved now since she's kind of she's getting a little bit more allied to the good side now with quote unquote good side with Al. So possibly she can bridge the gap here a little bit. She's already been doing that somewhat. She was crestfallen to discover what Ed really looked like based on her image of him. But now, what's even better about Al is you can't see the real image of him. Everyone just has to, have it in their head whatever he might look like. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Not getting disillusioned. Yeah.
A handsome cavalier.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. The next episode is going to be called, it's 31, almost to just before the halfway point, basically. It's called the 520 Cens Promise. Cens, CENS. So, is that a cent or it's some kind of money, I guess, probably?
I think it's their money. That sounds right.
Yeah, they got a little lazy naming the money, I would say.
Well, the bones are their money, and so are the worms.
So we'll see what happens. So presumably there's going to be since we had the flashback here and it's kind of like at a resting point, presumably there's going to be some forward momentum, I would think, into the plot.
Yeah, we got to move forward now. We
All right.
See some action.
Well, you can join us back next Anna Monday for that presumed action. But in the meantime, we're going to be up out of here. Peace.
I've got to head out too.